Call this meeting, emergency meeting of the City Commission of Rio Grande City. It is Monday, June 22nd, 2020, approximately 12:15 p.m. It's a virtual meeting. And we'll start with the we can have Commissioner Jones with the invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner Ramirez.
Bow our heads. Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to get together today to conduct city business. I ask you to guide us, make the right decisions for the residents of Rio Grande City and Tuazar County. I ask you to bless those who keep us in harm's way. Thanks for the water that you blessed upon us last couple of weeks. Please guide us in making the right decisions for the residents of Rio Grande City, and all this I ask for you. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one indivisible.
Ms. Garza, roll call, please, and finding a
Yes, Mayor Villarreal,
here.
Mayor Pro Tem Garza,
Here.
Commissioner Flores, absent, Commissioner Ramirez,
Here.
and Commissioner Jones.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Ms. Garza. Next business and item 2, items for consideration is discussion and possible action adopting order number 2021-F, amending previously approved order number 2020-1E, providing for clarification as it relates to previous requirements for curfews and operations of certain businesses, Texas Government Code 551.071. And what we're trying to do here is to clean up the previous order that we had approved, and particularly, of course, with the continued cases that we're getting. In fact, over the weekend, it was a terrible news for the additional numbers. In fact, just Saturday alone was 106 new positive cases. And this, as per Dr. Vasquez through Ms. Ashley Custer, there have been 3 confirmed deaths, and the numbers just keep rising. Unfortunately, we're in a predicament where what do we do? And at this point, there are certain things that we still can do within the confines, of course, of the governor's orders and or simultaneous agreement too with the counties. And so moving on with that, I don't know if you have a copy of the latest order, and just be looking at some of the sections that pertain to today's meeting. If you're looking at, so just reiterate, so we're enjoining the different orders through the state and of course the county and our own. And so if we go down the list on section 1, which, I mean, at this point, the curfew, of course, would be repealed. However, it is highly encouraged and recommended that all persons at this point shelter at home. But again, at this point, there are certain parameters that we have to be in contention with, which is many of these are highly recommended, suggest, advise, coming through CDC as well. But at this point, there are certain things that we cannot go beyond, of course. So point, that'd be section 1. That's really the highlight. Of course, social gatherings are still recommended. Minimize social gatherings or minimize contact with people that are in the same household. So all those are previously established protocols that we had And at this point, we're still highly recommending those because they were effective. Bottom line, it was what we were doing here in Stark County was very effective up until things were reopened and we didn't have the authority to make certain requirements at that point. So we're asking the public to continue to practice all these previously established safety protocols because the numbers keep rising. There were 106 just on Saturday. And if that doesn't cause us to have a sense of urgency, then nothing will. Public, we ask, we have to contain this. We have to practice all these protocols and minimize the exposure because the numbers continue to rise. So that's section one. Any questions on section one? Mr. Villarreal, anything that we need to just be cautious on section one? At this point, we need to make sure we're in the, before we sign it and approve it.
No, Mayor, that clarifies it. We had initially talked about when you enacted the other one, we understood it was hard to enforce it, but obviously we were strongly recommending the curfew, but this clarifies it.
And it's recommended, again, it's highly recommended at this point for people to shelter in place. However, again, it's highly recommended because of the nature of the predicament we're in, where the numbers keep rising, and there's no mistake. The data is there. 106 cases alone on one day, that is enough to pause and say, wait a minute, we need to change this. Section 2 remains effective. All residents, visitors, and businesses shall comply with the Texas Governor's executive order and Stark County's amended emergency order. So again, it's the state and the county's orders. Section 3, previously adopted section 3, and this is one pertaining to the businesses. Businesses must have a health and safety policy. And if we go down the list, commercial entities, all commercial entities in the city of Rio Grande City, providing goods or services directly to the public must develop and implement a health and safety policy. And the health and safety policy must require at a minimum that all employees or visitors to the commercial entity's business premise or other facilities wear face coverings when in an area or performing an activity which will necessarily involve close contact or proximity to co-workers or the public, where separation is not feasible. So again, this is pertaining to businesses' health and safety plan. They must wear face coverings as per the health and safety plan. Mr. Herrera, anything else that that we need to consider on item or section 3?
No, Mayor. That's it.
Now, it's also, those, by the way, on this health and safety policy must, or should I say, may also include mitigating measures such as temperature checks, health screenings, commercial, and some people are already doing it, by the way. Some businesses are already doing temperature checks. I know we're doing temperature checks here at City Hall. Several businesses are too. Again, that's may be included, but as far as the face coverings, that is, they must wear face coverings when conducting business, employees and individuals visiting those businesses. And that includes the HEBs of the world, the Walmarts of the world, and any business and entity here in Rio Grande City. Is that correct, Mr. Villarreal, or just to make sure we're right? Okay. So any questions on that one, commissioners?
No.
Okay. Then section 4 of the order, which is at this point, it's previously adopted. Section 4 remains effective. Face coverings. General public, all people 2 years or older should wear face covering over their nose and mouth when in public place. Again, the operative word there is should, when in public place. Now, this is different from the previous one because section 3 talks about businesses, talks about health and safety, where they must wear a face covering. At this point on this one, it should in public places, whether you're out and about, but that's something that the operative word there is should. So just to be clear, and the CDC also advises face coverings for people 2 years and older. Face covers may include handmade masks, scarves, bandanas, or handkerchief. City of Rio Grande residents should continue to maintain social distancing or at least 6 feet while outside their home. Okay, so that's section 4. Any questions on section 4? Any clarifications that we need to have? Section 5, previously adopted section 5, paragraph closing coin operated, amusement machines, bars and nightclubs, piercing studios, sexually oriented businesses, and interactive amusement venues such as bowling alleys, video arcades, amusement parks, water parks, and splash pads is hereby repealed, and such business shall only be required to comply with county, state, and federal safety requirements. So again, on this one, it is repealed, and at this point, they should only comply with county, state, and federal safety requirements. As per the previously, there were some missteps on that one, but just to be clear, there's no businesses that were previously opened by the governor are going to be asked to close or anything like that. Any questions on that one? Now, they are required as per section 3 to continue with face coverings and so on. Section 6, previously adopted section 6 remains effective. People shall not be in homes, and supporting living centers, assisted living facilities, or long-term facilities to provide critical assistance as determined through guidance from the Texas Health and Human Services, and that was as per previously established. Section 7, previously adopted section 7 remains effective. People at high risk of severe illness from COVID-19 and people who are sick are urged to stay in their residences. Again, they are urged to stay. Section 8, previously adopted section 8 remains effective. The City Commission insists that any person, including international travelers who enters the city of Rio Grande City from outside of Rio Grande Valley, self-quarantine to the extent possible. Now, so that way there's no confusion, we're saying that we're insisting, so the operative word there is insist, that any person, including international travelers. Now, it is something that I encourage everyone to do, that if, and this is to help our community, if you have people visiting from the outside to our beautiful Nuestro Lindo Rio Grande, we insist that these people stay within the household where they're visiting, and this is all another previously established protocol, whereas before it was required. Now we're actually insisting. Why? Because we don't want additional cases here in Rio Grande City. Now, we insist, and it's up to the public to follow suit with this, and we encourage for people to follow this, and that'll certainly help us minimize some cases, because many cases were still travel related, by the way. There's some contagion here within our community now, but many cases are still travel related, or people coming from the outside, and others contracting it here through contacts from the outside. But again, operative word is insist. Any clarification on that? Commissioners, Mr. Villarreal, any more clarification on section 8?
No, that's pretty clear.
Okay. Section 9, previously adopted section 9 remains effective in accordance with Governor Abbott's executive orders. Reopened services shall meet all state of Texas minimum health protocols for each corresponding business and services sector that can be found. Okay, so that's as pre. Section 10, the City of Rio Grande City shall post this order on its website, which we have. Section 11, and that's same as previous. And section 2. Really, there was only clarification on several of the sections, which we already went over. And at this point, we just cannot say it enough. We need the public's help. we need the public's help. There's no other way to say this. The cases continue to rise. Again, 106 in one day. Those are numbers that are mind-boggling. And it is up to us to find a solution to this, a way to minimize the spread, because the numbers are there. And this will be reported. I know Dr. Vasquez was going to get on, but there have been, Ms. Custer, are you there? Ms. Custer was just mentioning, as per her conversation with Dr. Vasquez, that we have 3 confirmed cases, death here in Stark County as a result of COVID-19. And of course, we've had 1 for some time, but now we're up to 3 and the numbers keep rising. I believe there was 317 active cases as of today. And okay, and there were 3 confirmed deaths, right, Ms. Custer? Just to. And again, the numbers are alarming. The data is and the only thing we can say is, what do we continue to do but except ask the public to continue, that we need their help. We absolutely need the public's help. I know many businesses that are following, they're going above and beyond the minimum standards, and the rest that are not, that are just complying with the minimum. We ask to continue to go above and beyond just the minimum standards. Let's see what we can do to assist our community during this global pandemic. And it's not over. I know for the longest time, Stark County, Rio Grande City was doing so well, but right now the numbers, we're a hotspot. Stark County, Hidalgo County are hotspots in Texas, because the numbers keep increasing and we're just showing a spike. And unfortunately, this is something that can affect our community as it is. We're a high-risk population, coupled with medical care and the disparities in medical care compared to other counties. And this is something that it's up to us. It behooves us to do something about this, particularly the public. And we ask people to follow these protocols, these recommendations. Anything else, commissioners? Anyone would like to add anything to this?
No, Mayor, pretty much you said it all. I mean, in the past, again, continue to ask the residents of the community just to stay safe and practice social distancing and all the recommendations that we've discussed the last couple of weeks. And again, stay safe. This thing is serious, and we just need to find a way to stay safe until something, or to somebody comes up with a vaccine or something to combat this illness.
Thank you, Commissioner Ramirez. Commissioner Garza.
No, Mayor, just pray for those that are sick right now, and wish them well, and think of those that have lost loved ones, and we continue praying for them.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Jones.
Well, Mayor, as you said, we just ask for the community just to, take care of themselves by washing their hands and keeping social distancing. This is the only way we're going to be able to control this. Other than that, if we keep on the same pace, it doesn't look good. But we need the public, to help us out, help each other out, and keep each other safe.
And definitely, as Commissioner Garza mentioned, our prayers, thoughts and prayers to the families who lost a loved one here in Stark County as a result of COVID-19 and across the U.S. for that matter, but definitely our own here in Stark County. Condolences to the families, and our thoughts and prayers are with you, with them. difficult time. So at this time, anything else, Mr. Villarreal, just to make sure we're on the same page?
No, Mayor, that was section 1 and 5, and you covered them. Those
Okay.
were the changes.
Thank you. All right, so with that, do we entertain a motion at this time?
I so move, Mayor, that we approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve item 2A by Commissioner Ramirez. Do we have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Have a second by Commissioner Garza. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, raise your left hand. Motion carries. Chief Castillo, are you around, sir? Anything you would like to add, Chief Castillo?
Hey, Mayor, how you doing? Yes, I'm here. We've seen the traffic at night, Mayor, slow down a little bit. I asked that question to my supervisor this morning, and I think that the people are heeding the warning and taking it serious. There's a lot of cases that have come up through the weekend, and our guys will be out there, just kind of reminding people what's going on, and to make everything safe. I think that if we continue to work together, we can make this work out for the future of everybody in the county.
Thank you, Chief. And let's see, absolutely, we're going to need everyone's help. And we have to reiterate that point, is that we need everyone's help in this. And I'm talking about because that's going to be the only way to slow this thing down. The numbers are they're just way too alarming. And we need to do this, and we're asking everyone to help us out with this. So to the public, thank you so much for understanding. I know there was some confusion over the course of the last order. However, we are clarifying it, and we're correcting some of the language as we have today. But if you have any questions to the public, please feel free to contact our office. Mr. Alberto Perez, available for everyone. Right, Mr. Perez? Or you can contact us. But again, we want to make sure that we are clear on this. And that's why I went over each individual section, just to be clear as to how to proceed with this. However, if there are any other questions, please feel free to contact us, and we'll clarify this and make sure that we're in this together and fight this horrible condition or disease of COVID-19. And with that, entertain a motion to adjourn at this time.
I so move, Mayor, that we adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn by Commissioner Ramirez. We have a second by Commissioner Garza. Did you frost your hair, Commissioner? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Okay. Oppose your left hand. Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much for your time and your effort. To the public, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. We'll see y'all.
Thank you.